Hi, this is Cindy with Monday Muses, and I've been playing with some cards today. I've also been playing around with some other things. I've been making some samples. I was offered to teach a class at a local store, and I've been playing around with some mixed media today. So this is one of them, and I've used the Tim Holtz die and one of the stamps, and this is Deco Art Texture Terracotta with some Perfect Pearls Gold mist sprayed over it. On here, this is the Deco Art Texture Fiero. And these are fun textures to play with. And I have this one, and I have this one that I did today also. Whoops, little chain has fallen down. And I used texture glass here, which is clear, and the crackle. So I've been having fun today, and now we're going to talk about making some cards for spring. So this is cut from the Tim Holtz ATC and corners die, and what I did with it is first I stamped and used two stamps from the Stampers Anonymous Tim Holtz Spring is Sprung. I used this one in I think it was tea dye, yes, in the tea dye distress ink, and then I stamped the rabbit over top of that in black soot, and I put the corners on, and I just kind of went over them with the faded jeans. Now I used mustard seed and faded jeans, but where they connected you see green. I didn't use a green ink, but when the yellow and blue connect they make green, so I ended up getting 3 colors out of using just 2 of these inks. Now this is from Tim Holtz's Seasonal Stash, and I'm kind of trying to do this to go along with my challenge here for the end of February, which is used floral and a pattern paper and at least one bunny. So I've got the floral and the pattern paper all in one, and then the bunny on my ATC card. And I've got a card here, and it's just folded, and I'm going to ink it with the tea dye all around the edges. And the reason I'm, using the same color on the edges as I used in the background of my ATC card right there is to keep my palette limited and to keep my palette consistent, so that everything flows together. There's not a color that is out there on its own by itself. Everything is connected to everything else. So I'm going to ink all around it, and I'm going to go up here and ink on the fold, and I'm leaving the middle uninked because it's going to be covered anyway. And then I'm going to come around and do it on the inside as well. Trying to get my hard edge off of there. I should have started off the paper and I didn't. Okay, now up here I'm going to lightly put a little bit of this ink on because I don't want it there to be a stark area of lighter. I'm going to leave most of this one though, because I'm going to put a stamp on it. We don't always show how to do the insides of our cards, but a couple of them that, well, I'll show you that in a minute. We'll go ahead and do this. Okay, so this way. Now I'm going to take this spring card onto my card. I think I'm going to go ahead and just use my glue stick that's in front of me. That should work fine. I don't have one of my automatic adhesive dispensers in front of me. Okay, put that on right there. Okay, and I think I actually put it a little too far down, so I'm just going to go back and ink more there. Okay. Now this color, this tea dye, is a little bit of a rose beige, and it's going to pick up on these colors in here. And then I'm going to take the ATC card and I'm going to put it up on some foam tape. So we can get some dimension there. Pull that off. Okay, and I'm going to put that right about there. Okay. Now on the inside, now you can make this a birthday card if you want to. And I've got some birthday stamps that are fun. This one is: birthdays are natural ways of telling you to eat more cake. Nature's way of telling you to eat more cake. Or, age is merely the number of years the world has been able to enjoy you. Or, one birthday is worth 10 normal days. That's kind of fun too. But on this one, I think I'm going to go for something a little more serious. And this is a stamp that I picked up a while ago. It's from Stampabilities. For God is working in you, giving you the desire and the power to do what pleases Him. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to ink it up with, again, the tea dye ink. And I'm going to stamp that right in the center here. This is from a verse from Philippians 2:13. Okay, and so there we have a card. You can add some more embellishments to it in here, or you can leave it simple like this. But it's a very springy card. And I had some other ideas. I put this one. I made this one, and I used the wrinkle-free distress method, and I used some stains. I used Victorian velvet and milled lavender, and I think I also did use the spun sugar. Okay, and then I just put it on my craft mat and put it in and soaked it in, and put some more down and soaked it until I liked it. And then for the background, I used this stamp and then the bunny over top of it. And then I stained the corners in the milled lavender. And I'm going to put it on a piece of craft paper that is also, I cut out of the ATC card, but I also rounded the corners just a little bit more with my corner rounder. And it's hard to find corner rounders that work really well, but I found this one, and I really like this one because it's easy to do and it's very sharp. So I'm going to take my glue stick and mount it here. Okay, and then so there you have that on a mat that you could use with just about any other paper that you want to use that with. Got a couple of more pieces here from the seasonal stash. I think that one's a little too busy, but you could do it. Use it on this one, and this color picks up some of the lavenders in this, and the plain craft colored matte in between them helps neither one to get lost. And let's see, could do it this way for a monochromatic look on a card. Let's see, yeah, not so much. But we could use the one, whoops, took its corner off. Anyway, we could probably use this one on that page. So you can mix and match things. And I need to put this back on. So take your papers and your ink colors and experiment a little bit. Don't just make something and then glue it right on. Make a couple of things in a couple of different colors and get some papers and play around with them, move them around. And you notice that I do that a lot in my videos because I like to kind of see what can be done with different things. So here's one more card that I'm going to show you. And this isn't our spring floral theme, but I really liked this. This is another part of, let's see if that would work. Oh, yep, you could do that. This is another one of Tim's seasonal stash papers, and I'm going to put that on here on my card base. This time we're going to have it open this way. I'm going to make sure that I get the numbers going right side up. I like to use my brayer to hold down and to stick down things when they're kind of large when I'm gluing them on, because it just makes it easier. Okay, now let's go for gathered twigs instead of tea dye this time. This is a little darker, not red. Pinch that up and go around the edges. And it's fun to see, all these different papers, like that spring paper that I just used. I have had that in my stash and looked at it and went, ugh, and didn't really like it. But then today I brought it out and it just went really great with that bunny that I made. So it's fun to see what you can do with the papers that you think maybe you won't use. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of this also on the paper so that it will blend in with the ink around the edges. This is gathered twigs that I'm using. Then here's another ATC that I did, and I used again the tea dye with that one stamp and with this stamp, and then I used this butterfly up here, and I stamped it on, and then I took, I think it was Victorian velvet and a liner brush, and no, it wasn't that, it was the stain. I used the stain and I put it out, and I used my liner brush to paint in there, and I didn't try to get it in lines or really nicely done. I wanted kind of an abstract look to it. And then I'm going to take the gathered twigs again and go around its edge. Okay. Now, this applicator also has some of the tea dye still in it, which matches because this tea dye right here, it's on there too. So then I'm going, let's see, I'm just about out of this tape, but I think I have just enough. We'll make it work. Okay. Alright, now, and I'm going to put this, offset it. And that's enough right there for a pretty simple card. We happen to have the Tim Holtz timepieces. Now I've used all but 3 of mine, but you could easily add one of those. Or maybe let's try this bronze one right here. That would work. So you can embellish these as much or as little as you want to. But I thought I really wanted to show you this because I thought it was nice, and I think the butterfly can go with it because in time the caterpillar turns into a butterfly. So you could find a stamp for the inside that says something about time. Okay? So thanks for playing with me again today, and see you next week.